from the BBC. Pollab.
Mr. Gove, do you have any indication so far as to whether people are following the government instruction to stay indoors so far this Saturday? And I'd also like to ask Stephen Powis whether we should take any heart whatsoever from the flattening of hospital admissions in some parts of the country, notably London and the Midlands, and also to elaborate on comments made by Neil Ferguson again, that if we do follow the current restrictions, then perhaps by the end of May, some of the severe restrictions could be substituted by less intensive ones based on testing and technology. What did he mean by that?
Thank you very much, Pollab. My impression is that people are adhering to the social distancing guidelines, but I also recognise that the temptation is there. As Steve said, when the sun is out, there's a temptation to be out oneself. But the indications that we have so far are that people are observing them, and they're doing so because the overwhelming majority of people are public spirited and they want to play their part.
So every country in the world will have to work out its strategy for managing this new virus. And as I always say, remember, this is a virus that until a few months ago we didn't know existed and wasn't in the human population. And we are learning about this virus all the time. And the scientific evidence of how the virus is transmitted, how it affects immunity, will become more and more clear over the next few months. So yes, we will have to develop a strategy for coping with this virus, as will all countries. But it's a bit too early yet to say exactly what that strategy will be. The imperative at the moment is to get on top of it and to reduce transmission. So I'm absolutely sure that the advice, the scientific evidence will help those, Chief Scientific Advisor, the Scientific Advisory Group for Emergencies, to formulate the best possible advice to the government going forward. But on this day, at this moment in time, the critical objective is to stop the spread of the virus by reducing our contact with each other and maintaining social distance. And it's only if we do that, and only if we are successful in doing that, that we can actually have the conversations about what the next steps are.
Is there anything more that you'd like to ask me, Pollab?
I'd just like to follow up with Stephen, but on whether we should take any harm from the flattening off of hospital admissions. I know it's early days, but can we read that some of the early measures?
Yeah, so apologies for not addressing that direct. So as I described when we showed you the charts, and as I've said before, a reduction in transmission, so spread in the community, and there is some evidence that the measures that have been put in place, everybody's compliance with them, is reducing transmission, will over a number of days and weeks start to be reflected. The benefit will be reflected first in a reduction in infections, then in a reduction in hospitalisation, and then finally in a reduction in deaths. So yes, there is reason to be hopeful that some of the changes that we are observing in infections and perhaps in hospitalisations is now reflecting the benefit of the social distancing that everybody is complying with. But it will still take time for that to have its maximum effect. And this is not just about something we did 2 weeks ago or a week ago. This is something that we have to do now and in the days and weeks ahead. Because if we somehow decide that we need to take our foot off the pedal, if somehow we think that this is something for the days past and not the days ahead in the next week or two, then those charts will start to go in the wrong direction again. So the clear message, and it is a broken record, I'm afraid, from both of us, but the strategy at the moment, the imperative at the moment, is to maintain social distancing, stay at home, reduce contacts, stop the spread of the virus, and then we will progressively see the benefit of those actions.
Thank you, thank you very much, Steve. We'll turn now to Tom Rayner from Sky.
Thank you. A question first for Mr. Powis. 13 residents of the Burlington Court